I recently reviewed a client's trust funding and found 7 assets that were never transferred, including a rental property worth $200,000. Without a systematic checklist, it's easy to miss assets that could send your family to probate court. Hi, I'm Mike Smith, an estate planning attorney with Smith Barid LLC and the Estate Planning Guys. We have offices in Savannah, Georgia and Marietta, Georgia. I'm going to give you the complete trust funding checklist that I use with every client to ensure that nothing gets left behind. In my years of practicing estate planning law, I've developed this systematic approach because I've seen too many families discover unfunded assets after it's too late. Research shows that incomplete trust funding is the most common reason that estate plans fail to work as intended. So this checklist prevents those costly oversights. Every unfunded asset goes through probate with typical costs of 3 to 7% of the asset value and processes that last anywhere from 9 to 24 months. This checklist protects your family from those unnecessary expenses and delays. So Section 1, real estate. Check your primary residence, your vacation homes, your rental properties, and vacant land. Each property needs a new deed recorded in the county where it's located that transfers that property into your trust. Don't forget about timeshares, mobile homes, any property you own in other states. I've seen families miss something as small as a small rental property, and that ended up costing them thousands in probate fees. Section 2, financial accounts. This includes checking accounts, savings accounts, money market accounts, and certificates of deposit. For investment accounts, include brokerage accounts, mutual funds, and stock certificates. Remember, don't forget about things like retirement accounts, like IRAs and 401ks, and those typically use beneficiary designations and don't have a direct transfer to your trust, but it's a great time to review those beneficiary designations and make sure that they align with what your overall trust goals are. Life insurance policies also use beneficiary designations. Life insurance policies you want to have owned by your trust and the trust named as a beneficiary, unless you have an estate tax issue. Your estate is, approaching $30 million in value for a married couple or $15 million for a single person. Section 3, personal property. So let's talk about a special class of personal property, and that is motor vehicles, so cars. Cars are typically very easy to transfer post-mortem after death, and so we don't put those into the trust. The problem with putting them in the trust is that the tag office, every year when you go in to renew your title, they don't know what a trust is. You run into some bureaucratic red tape with it, and it's just so easy to transfer them after someone has died. You just go down to the tag office. There's a simple affidavit you fill out, and you give them that and the death certificate, and they'll transfer the title. So it's pretty easy to do that. With anything that like an RV or a motorcycle, any of the things that are titled through the Department of Public Safety, that's pretty easy to do. Other personal property, when we create the trust, we include language in the trust that says, hey, I'm transferring all of my personal property into my trust. So what is personal property? Well, it's things like art, jewelry, antiques, firearms, basically all the stuff you might have in your house. So when we create the trust, you sign an assignment that transfers all that over into your trust. You don't have to worry about those individual things. The only things you need to be concerned about are things that have titles like cars or accounts at banks or financial institutions, but all of your personal property gets transferred over automatically when we create the trust. Now, business interests, including things like partnerships, LLCs, corporations, those have specific transfer procedures that have to be followed, and you probably need to have an attorney assist you with that. It's not terribly complicated, but you have to have the right documents to make sure that's done properly. And then don't overlook things like intellectual property, like patents and copyrights, or maybe royalty interests. You want to make sure that those are transferred into your trust as well. Section 4, ongoing verification. After each transfer, you want to obtain written confirmation that it's taken care of. So for your real estate, get a copy of the recorded deed. For bank accounts, verify that your statements show your trust as the owner of the account. Create a master list of all of the accounts that you've funded. I would suggest using a spreadsheet, Excel or Google Sheets, and then annually just take a few minutes and review that. In December or January, just take a quick look at it. And every time you acquire new assets, you're going to want to add those to the list and make sure that if they need to be funded into the trust, that they are funded into the trust. The assets that are most commonly missed in my practice are safe deposit boxes, which need separate authorization forms. A safe deposit box, you can't transfer into your trust, but you can add someone to the box so that they're an authorized user on the safe deposit box and can get into it if something happens to you. Another problem I see is online-only bank accounts are often forgotten about. Sometimes they're inherited assets that weren't ever transferred properly to you, and now they're not in your trust. Business equipment or vehicles. I also see clients miss assets that are acquired after their trust was created. So they make new purchases, but they don't put that into the trust. It doesn't happen automatically. It's got to be transferred into the trust if it's real estate or if it's an account, that anything that has a title to it. So the last thing I recommend to you is that you do an annual trust funding review every January, and you just go through this checklist systematically. You verify that all the transfers are current, and you identify any new assets that need funding in your trust. I'd say, set aside about 30 minutes for that annual review, because that could save your family thousands in probate costs and months of court proceedings. If you want to use our funding checklist, we've got that on our resources page for you to download. If you need any help reviewing your trust funding status, or you need help with your trust, or you just want more information about estate planning, you can call our office at 912-352-3999, or you can visit our website at smithbarid.com. We've created a comprehensive checklist that will assist you in making sure that all of your assets are titled into your trust and nothing gets overlooked. So don't let overlooked assets defeat your estate plan. Use a systematic checklist approach to ensure that your trust provides complete protection for your family. I'm Mike Smith with Smith Barid LLC and the Estate Planning Guys, and I'll see you in the next video.